Hey there, Terp fans. It's Mr. Smiley here. I'm bringing you a special feature on Valkgasm Goes to War. So I've been using a rating comp. I've shared some videos. I know a bunch of other guys have been using it too, Scuba and GAT and UTF and Turtle Power, Pants, various levels. Basically, it's a giant and Valkyrie core dive with an Archer Queen walk. So I had been having some trouble doing it on ring bases because the funneling is so different. And then I watched a video from Mocha Boys at Reddit Force Chronicles on how to apply basically a similar comp to ring bases that just was really eye-opening. And not only has it changed, opened up so many more rating targets because at champs a lot of the Town Hall 10s and Town Hall 11s are ring bases, but it's also opened up really nice war attack. So I got 2 3 stars against Town Hall 10s for the first time ever, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I want to just break down this attack a little bit to show it and not basically monopolize our entire war recap. So this was the first one, and so this is what I think is going to be the standard comp for it. The army composition is basically taken out of what Mocha Boy had for his, which is taking the Valkgasm army composition that I've been using raiding, adding 2 Valkyrie to it, and replacing a bunch of the giants with 2 golems. And I think golem on ring bases, you can raid them with giants at the start, but I think giants really get torn up at the entry stage, and golem are a lot easier to create a funnel on the ring bases for. That it's not easy enough that, or there's not enough big enough difference that I plan on starting to hunt with golem until I've maxed my heroes. But I think for war attacks it makes sense. You can mash some of those spring traps before they get in. So let's go to the attack. Oh, and I'm also using only 4 healers where he has 5. But a product of that might be that if you look at this base, both of these bases that I'm going to show are 80 weight, which is on the low end of Town Hall 10, and basically you're looking at max Town Hall 9 defenses for most of it. So what we're going to look at here, and let me just start it for a second. Just I think I rewatched this 3 or 4 times last night, but I just want to make sure I have the entry here. So you're going to have a queen walk, and the queen walk creates the funnel on one side, and then then you're going to put down. So let's go back to the telestrator. So the queen walk, you're going to drop over here. She's going to take out this 1 air defense. She's going to take out this cannon here. She probably isn't going to be able to get past this row, but the beauty of this is that on a lot of these ring bases, they're designed to have the defenses on the exterior, and then the interior they have trash buildings, and what that does is it creates a golem ring where the golem go around the core instead of into the middle because of the funneling. They're only going after defensive buildings, and therefore my Archer Queen here, in order to stop the golem and the giants from straying around the side, really only needs to take out about here. So she takes out this air defense, she takes out this cannon here, maybe she'll take out this archer tower here, maybe she won't, but that prevents the giants and the golem that are coming in here from going around the circle, because the closest defense is probably going to be over here towards this crossbow and probably a couple Tesla in here. So what you're going to do is you drop the Archer Queen on one side, you drop 2 golem here with some wizards behind it to help funnel it, and then ideally you want to try to drop the wall breakers to break over a little bit towards this side. And so when they break in, they can go around here, but really the closest defense is likely to be into the core, and they're going to go straight into the core without having really a distinct funnel over here. Although this second golem over here, at some point with the wizards behind it, probably will break through to help with the funneling aspect of it. So once you do that, so you're laying down your troops, you have the Archer Queen creating the funnel on one side. Her job is basically she's going to help steer the core dive part of the attack into the core, and then her job is basically to take out the rest of these buildings. And some of that's going to be before the core dive and some of it's afterwards because of it depends on how many of these trash buildings are around here, whether she'll actually go around. Usually at some point during the middle of the core drive, she'll just start going through here. And you have to be a little bit careful because sometimes that can interrupt the attack. I think on the second attack it might a little bit, and she can get mixed up with them. On the other hand, they're doing so much damage in there that that's really not a huge concern. Similarly with the wall breaker, so you have one golem here, you have one golem here. You want to avoid this splash damage here. You want to avoid this splash damage here. You can just time those and that shouldn't be that big of a problem. If the wizard tower is going and hitting right here, instead of trying to throw them into that area, it's probably going to work out okay if you put them into here. Similarly, with the experience rating, if you bust open this and your kill squad goes into this area, it might slow it down by a couple seconds. You just pop one of the rages here and they'll just funnel nicely. So that ends up not being that big of a deal. So where I differ from Mocha Boy's strategy is that I'm using the spells that I like better from the Valkgasm rating comp. Whereas I think he goes with 3 rages. I prefer the kind of the timed rage, freeze, heal combination, along with the second rage if possible. Also, the earthquake. I think here a lot of times the Valkyrie and the Burger King may wander around a little bit before going back inside. So I think the earthquake instead of a jump here not only funnels better. I think that's the most important reason to use the earthquake, but also it does soften up these buildings. 4 max earthquake should do about 42% damage, which on an individual building is not that much. But here you see you have a crossbow that probably, I don't know, has 2,500 hit points. So 40% of that's 1,000 hit points. That's just, if you can get 6 or 8 buildings with those earthquakes, you're softening it up, and it's just going to help your core dive. So basically what you're doing here is you're going through this core, and you're going to drop a rage immediately. Then you're going to either freeze, it's your choice, whether you want to freeze the first Inferno or freeze the back end of the Inferno. Sometimes I just kind of play it by ear. If there are clan castle troops in there that I really don't like, sometimes, that other than a hound, and I want to make sure that my wizards, I can stand them up for my wizards to kill. Sometimes when the clan castle gets here, I'll make sure I drop the freeze on the first one, and that stands up the clan castle troops. So you're going to have one rage outside the core, one rage inside the core. You're going to drop a freeze, and when you drop the freeze, you drop a heal here also. And with the Inferno frozen, that gives your giants and your Valkyrie a little bit of an extra boost so that they can get through, and you make sure that you take out this core. I mean, ideally they'll bust out of the core and help a little bit with this. I think on this attack I accidentally misdropped my Burger King, and he ended up actually, I had enough in the core to core it out, and the Burger King ended up taking out from like here to here, so my queen didn't have to clean this up. You probably don't want to wait that long on the Burger King, but because the queen will, if you have a level 30 plus queen, she should be able to do a nice job in taking that out without the Burger King getting out of the core, but it never hurts. So let's start watching the attack unfold. There you go with the golems down there. About 4 wizards on the outside of each golem help create the funnel. You don't really have to worry about the trash buildings in between. They're not going to slow down the golems, and if they're there when the Valkyrie and the Burger King get dropped, then they'll take care of that. So there you go. You rage. You want to, not only does the rage do a lot of damage quickly, but it makes the giants clear out any defenses there, so that the Valkyrie and other troops that are there are more likely to not have anything else to attack and go straight into the core. There you see there was a dragon in the core. Raged wizards just make really quick work of everything there. They do take some damage, but really, as long as you take out both Inferno and hopefully the crossbows, your queen is going to have no danger. With the spacing for the air defenses here, she can approach each of the air defenses head on. With the healer range and the Archer Queen damage, the defenses in this base are so spread out that she can just take her time and just basically stroll around this base. And at this point, after the core dive, there's really nothing else other than cleanup. None of these point defenses are going to do any significant damage to this queen who still has the 4 healers. So let's just watch her go around cleaning up. There are still some defensive buildings here, but I think at this point I still had an extra 30 seconds on the clock, even beyond what it shows in the replay. So the time was not a huge factor here after the update with the extra 30 seconds, and with a level 40 queen, not a huge issue. So really gratifying 3-star there. Let's watch a second attack. This one, there was a little bit of a tweak that I had to make to the base. That first one against Jigs was a Nemesis base, which I run a variation of that, and you see that one pretty common with those golem traps in the corners. This one is another pretty common variation where the tweak is because if you send wall breakers at these walls, it'll only get this outside part and not this inside. Which, again, with Rage Giants and Wizards and Valkyrie, you're going to chew through that core pretty easily. But at the same time, it's annoying, and it slows down. So what I wanted to do, I traded that heal for a jump because I didn't want to deal with that nonsense. And again, I could have used a jump in the core here, but I thought that the earthquake would funnel a lot nicer. So there you can see down at the bottom, I dropped my queen. Again, let's pause it here for 1 second. So I'm going to be coming through here with a jump. And my goal is to make sure that my core dive troops all get into here and they core out this base. And if they can do that job, then there's nothing in this circle around here that is really going to pose much of a threat to my Archer Queen. So with my troops coming in here, my Archer Queen is going to take out this, going to take out this defense, going to take out this defense, probably won't get over here, but as these troops start rushing through the core, or through the jump, they hit here, and where is the next defense going to be? There's going to be this cannon, which the queen may or may not take, but beyond that, the next closest is probably going to be this mortar. And this mortar is a lot further away than these Tesla that I know are here, this crossbow that's here, this Inferno, and this crossbow. So really, the Archer Queen, even though she does not break through the walls out here, by being able to snipe this Archer Tower here, it's created the funnel into here. And so I'm also going to drop, after the queen, in order to create the other side of the funnel, I'm going to drop 2 golem. And let's get this working. So I guess it's a single click. All right. So let's go up here. We have 1 golem here. We're going to have approximately 4 wizards out here. We're going to drop the other golem here, which I know I'm going to want to go through this jump here, but I want to make sure that I catch this cannon just so the wizards don't get destroyed. I'm going to drop about 4 wizards behind the golem here. I don't really need to drop anything over here. And then I'm going to, just because I had changed my mind about what form of attack I was going to use, I had one of the golem was in the clan castle instead of out in my regular troop space. Just a golem, a wizard, and an archer. And so I have 9 of my own giants, which is about the same as what I would have carried. So I'm going to drop the giants through here. We're going to pop a rage here. That's going to clear out all of these defenses and make sure that the next closest defenses are going to be in the core. I'm going to drop another rage closer to the core, and I do have a freeze, and I think I misdropped, but it would have been enough to take out both of those Inferno, probably catch the crossbow too, spare my Giants and my Valk a lot of damage that even though I don't have the luxury of having the heal here like with my normal comp, I felt that the jump was more important to get them in there quickly, and that they would last long enough in there to take out that core. So let's go ahead and let's watch the attack. There we have the golem. And even though that golem doesn't, I don't think it really needs to break through the wall in order to create the funnel. I think the wizards behind it will take out the mortar there and maybe that cannon that's firing at it and be enough to create that funnel. Eventually, that golem is going to bust through. So there you see the wizards take out that cannon to create the north part of the funnel. The archer queen's taken out a whole bunch of the south and is now distracted by the hound that's in the clan castle. So at this point, the giants have cleared out a nice big path for the Valkyrie to just kind of go into the core. They're going to get distracted right here by chopping up a couple of storages, and then they're just going to go straight into the core. And with the hound here, it makes an easy choice to have the earthquake because the pups, even when they explode, they're not going to distract my Valkyrie and my giants. They can only attack ground-based troops, so they don't care about the pups, and they're tanky enough that they can survive a little while my queen and the spare archer take out the pups. And here you can see she's broken through and is ready for her cleanup. Core crew is still mostly alive, or enough of them that they can start taking out half of the remaining troops themselves. I don't think I would have needed that, but it's pretty nice in the middle of a war where you can do a Town Hall 10 3-star that is so dominant that you still have both of your heroes at near full health at the end of the raid. So there you go. She's just taken out the archer tower. There you go. I think I'll pop the heal just for a swag pop. So I'm pretty excited about learning how to funnel for these attacks. Again, thanks to Reddit Force Chronicles YouTube channel for showing me how to do that. I think this is a pretty nice, versatile army composition for both ring bases and other bases where you can get into the core just from one set of wall breakers and an earthquake. So I'm excited to see how I can use this in the future. Let's go Terps.